That's away then, Ram?
Yep, Ben.
Cool. Hello, everyone. How are we this week? All good. So we've got a few bits on the agenda, nothing overly surprising. So there's reviewing the actions from last week, reviewing the outstanding PRs, any updates on charters for working groups, and any other business. So if we look at reviewing the actions from last week, I had one to nudge people on some stale PRs, so I did manage to do that one. And to update the RFC PR, and I managed to do that one. Chris and David, did you manage to meet to convert your proposals into full docs?
We've got something scheduled for this Thursday for that.
Cool. All right, I will just copy that one and there we are. So I'll move that over to there. So in terms of the outstanding PRs, we've got reviewing the RFC process, which I will just grab the link for that one and paste it in chat. And we've had a bit of a discussion on this one, and I think it's well worth bringing it to this group in particular. So the main point of discussion has been between myself and Jan about how we want to deal with things where working groups don't want to be part of the process. So my current thinking is kind of like having a folder per working group for RFCs to live in. And if you're in a working group that doesn't want to do it, just put a link in there to where your RFCs are going to live. Does that seem like a sensible way to do things, or am I missing something?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Any thoughts from anyone else?
Okay, I haven't read this whole thing that you just linked, but is the issue that like for particular RFCs that working groups don't want to comply to, or RFCs in general?
We were more thinking RFCs in general. So say Paketo, for instance, because they've got something that already works. Or if there's something where it's like, actually, no, we'd rather not go with the community approach, but we want to make sure it's accessible and discoverable because something else fits into our workflow better. It's just pointing people where to find them.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So if we think we're all good with that, I'll make an action to update the wording to reflect that and kick it open for review in that case. All right. So then the next one we have got Jeff updated yesterday, but I'll just paste that one in there. So this one's adding more Diego repos to the runtime working group. Stephan, I will pass this one over to you.
Yeah, I commented on it with two things. The first question was, do we want to have private repos in our working groups? I think we discussed it, yes, last time as well. And there were, well, that's the situation that we have today. On the other hand, I find it questionable in a community-driven open process to have these private repos. That's why I don't want to veto. I mean, I don't want to stop you from continuing to work. So I can, of course, remove my change request here. But in the long run, I think it would make sense if we can get rid of private repos in general, so that everything that is listed in a work group is actually clickable and visible to everyone.
Didn't we last week agree that these private links should just go to the bottom of the whole list of things to be sorted out? That is at least the first step.
Yeah,
I think that was a concrete proposal last time to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So
and then we can figure out if we can get rid of those, like, entirely.
Okay,
I can add it as a comment to this discussion, and then I think we can continue. And yeah, and then the second point was this funny Grace repository, which looks, I looked inside and couldn't believe my eyes, but it is used. That was the so yeah. I would not veto here, of course, but again,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a worrying look, but if it's actually still providing valid tests, then yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Okay, cool. So are you happy to update your comments in there then, Stephan?
Yep, all right. I will update the comment, and then I think this one can.
Just out of curiosity, is this one used for like testing the Diego can run Docker images cases? Because that would then indeed be an interesting case to bring together with the Paketo community to actually replace with something using cloud native build tags to create that image. But that just as a side note. If it's actively used, there's probably no way around taking it in for now.
I'm not 100% certain on that one.
It's used in Diego tests. It was written. Maybe one day it will be replaced by something else. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Oh, that's all right. The other one. Okay. No, I can skip that one because it has been merged. So that is cool. That looks to be all of our outstanding PRs that we've got where there hasn't been action either prodded or it's been approved and it's waiting for the RFC to be approved or not approved and then adjusted into the appropriate format. Has anyone got any other outstanding PRs they want to flag at this particular point that I may have missed? Cool, I got them all. So on an update on the vulnerability management working group, I've pinged Paul via GitHub and now via Slack to see about can we merge in this one whilst he's looking for a replacement for himself so it doesn't hold us up. I'm just waiting to hear back on that to confirm or deny to move it forwards. And anyone got anything else on the working groups front? Okay, cool. So I think now we actually hit the more juicy part. Any other business in here?
I have one question to any other business. I'm currently discussing with Greg what would be the correct approach to request two incubator POC GitHub projects in the Cloud Foundry org, and we were not sure how to do it. Would it be a PR to the working group document to add those? Or is it completely informal because it's just incubation style repositories like it was in the past? On the other hand, we don't want to add more stuff into Cloud Foundry Incubator, but under the Cloud Foundry org, which is a bit more, let's say, official. Yeah, what's your opinion on that? And
we are
happy to exercise it.
We are talking about the runtime interfaces working group, right?
Exactly,
that is
yeah.
an established group that has a technical lead.
Yeah,
I'd say working groups can go on and create repos. And that's like, should be a permission that leads actually have and can decide on. If they need a repo for something, they should be fine to go on. Probably this should be accompanied by adding it to the working group as an asset. But I don't see any process that needs approval for a technical lead, right? That's nothing that a technical lead should ask the TOC or something. Like if they need a repo, just create it. I don't know if like actually all the technical leads have permissions to do that. That's a different thing. But So right now, I guess with Greg being a technical lead and Stephan Merker being an org admin,
we would find a
we
way.
have
to...
a solution. we have a valid solution. Like, I mean, maybe in the long term, with other things where we are working on automation, there could be something where you could just dump in, there's the repository name I want, and like a bot picks it up and creates the repo if it doesn't exist. But like, for now, I'd say like we need permission from the technical or like from a lead of a working group to say, yeah, that's a repo we will use for whatever, POCs or even production things, right? And then add it to the list and create it, and like find somebody who has permissions to create it technically.
And then okay, so then do we track it? There's two questions. Do we track it as an incubator project? Is it tracked in the working group charter at all? Or is it a different status in the working group charter? Is there like a list of projects in incubation maybe that's separated? Like, is there status associated with incubation? And if so, which I think maybe there should be, are we going to promote all the things out of incubator that are actually formally part of the current working group's charter? Like, do we have deferred maintenance to move everything listed in all of the working group charters into Cloud Foundry instead of Cloud Foundry Incubator? I would say yes, ideally. And then we can actually have incubator status again.
I like for this particular thing. Yeah, that's now hard. It's like, if I understood Stephan correctly, this is actually not anything that is going to incubate, right? It's going to be replaced with something for reals,
first
or
of all,
not.
it's just a means to show the source code so that we can talk about it.
Yeah.
It has there's no plans attached yet. It's just a basis for a discussion, and it doesn't make sense to discuss in open air. So that's why we wanted to have two repositories. But since it's source code coming from one company, it should be under the CF ruling, and otherwise our legal department will run crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything explicit in the new TOC rules about incubating projects like there was in the PMC structure, but I would say it's a useful paradigm to have, and we should have. I think we should continue to retire the Cloud Foundry Incubator org, so it should go into Cloud Foundry, and there should be some record of it in the community doc, just so that there's some. It's not just kind of out there in space.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would think that the technical lead should be able to just create such things.
Okay, then I will talk with Greg, and as soon as the repos exist, I can file a PR to add them into special section like POC or incubator. I mean, yeah, incubator is probably the wrong word yet, because it's not. It already says it should go in a direction, and that's too early. It's definitely not something. No yet. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with note typing at the same time, which is proving fun. Ram, I did see that you added some words in here, so take it away.
Yeah, so by way of background, the last sort of public-facing announcement from the foundation had been about Chip's departure. We haven't done much else about some of the community-facing work that has been going on, especially about the TOC, about the different working groups that are there, and to what point we've gotten in terms of general progress. There's also another announcement that the foundation has to make, which is that Craig McLuckie from VMware has been elected as the chair of the governing board. So the PR team is working on putting out like a very PR style document out there, which makes some of these announcements. So do the appointment of the governing board chair, and also touch upon the TOC stuff. But I thought we'll go into a little more detail and provide something more in terms of a retrospective of the year and also something to look forward to for next year. So I wrote up a draft for that, and I have shared it, I think, with everybody here. So what we'd like is a comment of sorts from each of the individual TOC members. So I've like assigned a point in the doc where I'll just include like a line or two, which is just a comment about, and there's a little bit of context in the doc, but again, feel free to ping me if you need more info or if you'd like to shape your thoughts or what have you. But it's basically some comment about a particular area of either TOC operations or something to look forward to, etc. And that will be part of the byline document itself. And the intent is to publish it on the new stack. Just to be clear if folks had any questions. But yeah, what I'm looking for is just a 1 or 2 line code from everybody that can go into the doc in the assigned spaces.
Perfect, thank you. Has anyone got anything else?
Oh, and sorry, I was just going to add, we intend to publish this in like a week or so. So the sooner we get it, the better. Thanks. So,
oh, and I just wanted to thank you all for the work you did on the CFF positioning doc that the board started. That's quite helpful. And yeah, if there's any more notes you want to put in that, do so in the next week or so. And yeah, I like some of your slogan suggestions. I think I'm leaning, my favorite right now is short and simple. It's just Cloud Foundry, the proven developer experience. Just keep it very non-specific and, factual. So, but I suppose we'll decide on that sometime fairly soon. I'm not exactly sure at what point we'll make that decision. But yeah, thanks for your work on that.
Cool. David, you've got to have something. You always do.
I don't know. I can always like think about what I always bring like very disorganized thoughts to the table about like, well, what about this other thing and so on. I guess maybe I'd be curious. We've got Ruben on. Ruben, you've been working on some automation, right? We're hoping to actually stamp out like repo settings and maybe even teams appropriately. Where are we on the like rollout of the new like team and repo structure? And I guess we also need to approve the PR, right? Still around default repo settings as well, potentially?
Yeah, I don't think, do we already have one on default repo settings? I don't know. There was one about team structure, but that one is, there's discussion going on. And we still need that RFC thing to be merged before that one can be merged. So I'm doing some automation for creating teams already, or just building the Terraform automation. And also what I found quite useful and what I'm experimenting with in the foundational infrastructure working group is that apparently you can assign a team as reviewers. So you can enable a setting on a team to make it possible to auto assign reviewers. So you use basically a team as a pool, and then you can set that you, for example, want 2 from that pool to be assigned to each PR. And then if you assign that team to the PR, it will do load balancing of the, and you can you can actually choose a load balancing strategy, like round robin, or a setting where it looks at the past 30 days and then assigns it equally. So that's quite useful. So with that in mind, I would like to like us to set up the team so that we can at least have, for example, the tech leads and the approvers should all be in the same, at least in one team, so that we can use that team to auto assign per area. So yeah, I'm looking at the technical side of what we would need to automate these things, whilst the discussion is still going on how we are gonna set up those teams. So yeah, that's my update on that side.
Sounds like we need to make some progress on actually finalizing some of these RFCs so we can move forward.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, we have a technical solution that doesn't align with the thing we have merged. So yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping to get the RFC meta PR updated this evening and then kicked open for review. So I'll ping everyone on that one as soon as that's done to aid in unblocking us.
Perfect.
Okay. Has anyone got anything else for this week?
Are we going to potentially cancel one or two around the very end of December of these meetings? Have we thought about?
Yeah, I was probably going to wait until next week to think about that when Eric returns from his vacation to figure out when the next round of vacations are. It seemed like a sensible one. But if nobody has anything else, then we may as well gain a bit of time back, I guess. All right. Thank you very much, all, and have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Cheers.